Hello, and thank you for joining me. We're just going to get started. If anyone is just joining in, go ahead and get comfortable. This first few minutes, just go ahead and get yourself some water if you'd like, maybe a blanket. I definitely recommend a notebook and a pen. And if you have any stones or sigils or anything that you're wanting to call in the energy of working with today, I mean, perhaps you're even going to pull yourself a card. Um, whatever you want to do. If you feel called to do some facial mapping while we're doing the energy practices today, this is a safe space. You can come with your camera on, you can come with your camera off. You can contribute as much or as little as feels best to you, because that is the whole point of these sovereignty sessions, is that we all come exactly how we are in this moment, whatever frequency we're swirling around in, or whatever frequencies we're visiting simultaneously as we're checking in this now moment. All right. And I do want to say, I believe in like an hour and a half, we have our new moon. And depending on what type of astrology really vibes with you right now, I've been really looking more into sidereal astrology. But what's cool is I think they're within about like 23 degrees of each other. So some types of sidereal astrology still, or excuse me, sidereal astrology right now is maintaining the flow that the moon is in Cancer, the new moon is in Cancer, whereas the tropical astrology is stating that the moon is in Leo, and neither one are right or wrong. And I think that the reason why I'm starting off with this is just to kind of show that sovereignty looks different for everybody, and it looks different for everybody depending on what state of being they're in. And yeah, I could go on for days about this, but now that I've talked a little bit and you have your water and your blanket and, getting in your safe space. And when I say safe, I just mean you're welcome to be exactly who you are. So, if you're inside and there's some talking going on, maybe you want to go outside or, put on some earphones. And again, notepad and paper. So in these sessions, I kind of have like a full body multidimensional awareness of where we're going to go, but I don't actually know what's going to happen or where we're going until the exact moment that everyone gets here and we're all in this space together. And then whatever the energetic, I don't want to necessarily say demands, but yes, whatever the energy suggests to me, it all kind of comes together. And then, maybe we'll go on a little journey. Maybe we'll just do some musings. But basically, as soon as I begin to close my eyes, that's how I know, okay, I feel that we're ready to go. So get comfortable. The only rule here is feel free to be yourself, which also extrapolates to allowing everyone to be themselves. Okay. This is a safe space. This is a protected space. The energy is clean and clear. And this is a living field of plasma vibration, a living field of collective love, unification, non-division, inclusion, and beingness. And if you'd like to call in any of your guides, and what I want us to do here is to just completely melt into this moment. And I will walk you through what I see. You are welcome to maintain my language and my vibration, my voice in the background, and just let it melt into your being. You're welcome to follow along. But also, if you're following along and I'm seeing something and you're seeing something different, or it's got a different hue or texture or smell or likeness to it, nothing is wrong. Everything is correct, because you're going to get what's specific for you. And we all have our stronger senses. And one of my strongest senses is the feeling, the knowing, and also this visionary seeing. All right. So I'd like for us to all melt into our bodies. And I'm seeing our bodies like an hourglass. And at our waist and our solar plexus is where the energy is like swirling down from the galactic wholeness into our galactic chakras, into our crown, and just spinning. We're just going to breathe through that. And maybe as it's spinning through this hourglass, it seems like more of like a ribbon. Like I'm seeing like a purple ribbon intertwining with like an opaque white iridescent ribbon. And they're just swirling around and bouncing around like musical notes, vibrating, sometimes in order, sometimes a little out of order, and just spiraling, spiraling, spiraling at the top of this hourglass. I'm hearing the message, we are timeless. And we're just going to allow this energy to spin and assimilate and come through our crown, our third eye, and all the chakras. And then when it gets to the waist area or our solar plexus area, we're going to lovingly let go of what no longer resonates. Because yes, while normally a new moon is about fresh starts, I'm really feeling very big on this energy of purging, this energy, like this mantra of pain is the purifier, that we've been holding on to something like pain or restriction, or even like a cage that we put ourselves in to fit in, to belong. And we're ready to shed all of that. And it's going to happen like this very quickly. As soon as that spiral diffusing through all of our chakras, all of our body, however you're seeing this, maybe you're seeing it go through all your cells and all of your connective tissue, your blood and your bones and the extracellular matrices. Maybe you're seeing it like that. Maybe you're seeing it as a bunch of giggling gnomes going down water slides. Like it can be anything. And the more vivid it is for you, the more real it is for you, the more you're playing into what I call the sensory buffet, where you can taste it, touch it, smell it, hear it, feel it, see it, all of the senses, both the tactile and the extra sensory senses, extra sensory perceptions, all of your perceptions, all of you. And you can even make it really big, wider than the earth, wider than the Milky Way, as big as you want, this spiral. The spiral that's coming through your solar plexus. And when you get to the solar plexus, I want you to be really intentional about what you're letting go. And as soon as it swirls through that solar plexus and you decide, I'm letting this go, you're going to feel lighter. And it's going to continue to untwist any cords or enmeshments that you may have had. And again, none of this is bad. All of this is just stuff that we've kind of collected in our energetic suitcase because we were like, oh, this will keep me safe. Oh, this will keep me safe. Oh, this will keep me safe. And it did for a time. But now it's become too heavy and it's time to let it go so that we can invite new energy in, new intentions, new manifestations, new visions. Or maybe you've been holding onto a vision for a very long time and you're just now ready to shed all of the stuff that you don't need anymore. Maybe you're finally ready to be vulnerable, to be completely seen, because you know that the most important person that can ever hold you is yourself. And everything outside of that is not your responsibility or your requirement. Whether or not the people outside of you can truly hold you. It does matter, but for the sake of this exercise, it doesn't matter because you can hold yourself. And as you hold yourself, that reverberates. It moves mountains. And then what happens is you entrain the energies around you. And the energies that can't hold you, or maybe the timelines where those energies existed that can't hold you, they shift. And either those people, places, and spaces don't come towards your energy anymore, or they've changed with you. And it's miraculous. It's really your choice. And how do we choose? We choose by our attention, by what we focus on. And sometimes we choose consciously. No, I don't want that. Yes, I want that. And sometimes we choose unconsciously by paying attention to things that we really don't like because we feel we have a duty or a responsibility. No, pay attention to the things that you want to grow and make conscious choices with your intention. Every single day, you can set your intention for the day. All right. And as this energy continues to swirl, I'm feeling like some really deep breaths. I still feel that some of us are still working through this. So for those of us who feel that we've already gone through that middle layer and we've shed the things from our solar plexus, excuse me, and feel free to clear your chakras. Lots of expression, lots of six-dimensional awareness is coming through right now. Being vulnerable is expression. You don't even have to say anything. You're expressing yourself by saying, I feel safe enough to hold myself completely. And as I feel safe enough to hold myself completely, others also are allowed to do the same because we give permission with who we are. All right. So I think we're going to take 3 minutes here and finish this spiral. And these 3 minutes will be in silence. And I'll come back to you in 3 minutes with the sound of my voice. I also want to let you know that if anyone feels like bringing in some light language, or if anyone's ever seeing something and they feel called to speak out loud about it, please always chime in. This is our session. All right, 3 minutes begin now. Okay. So it hasn't quite been 3 minutes, but I'm getting the message that everyone has completion and peace with where they are now. And so as we're letting these last tendrils or pieces of sand or whatever is moving through your hourglass beyond your solar plexus, now I want you to really focus on your connection to the earth. Perhaps picturing the earth's core, the center of the earth, communing with any beings that you might see that are there, and connecting whatever way feels good to you. You can connect with the breath, seeing the breath as this line of energy that goes down through all of your energetic and physical body systems. Perhaps you're seeing it as little sensory points on your feet and all throughout your body that are connecting all the way down at the center of the earth. You already feel light for letting go. And now you feel grounded by feeling into this earth energy, by knowing that the earth holds you, supports you, loves you, and is here to diffuse the energy with you. It's here to help you move that energy. All right. So, just going to take a moment here and check in with the energy. We all know that we are capable of being held because we see ourselves as whole and we can hold ourselves. Excuse me, I need some water. Okay. So let's see. Lots of expression coming through. Okay. So this is how we're going to start. I would like for you to envision yourself very relaxed. And I do also want to say that with the visualizations, I always stay inside of my body, which whatever you prefer is beautiful and perfect. But what I do is I open up my heart center. I've built kind of like a little visualization portal so I can stay inside myself and I can stay grounded. And I call these things towards me that are resonant, but they're not coming from the outside, they're coming from inside of me. And they manifest in a safe visualization space. So if that feels resonant to you, or some version of that to keep you in your body, that's beautiful and perfect. But as I said before, whatever is for you is beautiful and perfect for you in this moment. So we're taking time from this now moment to go deep within ourselves, to connect with our inner beingness. And we're going to connect with the energy of water, with the energy of flow, and the energy of being held. Now, I'm going to describe to you what I'm seeing. And again, feel free to maintain this visualization with me or to build your own and simply allow my words to flutter in the background of your experience. All right. So I am free. I am held. I am flowing like the water. My emotional depths are deep. I am vulnerable. I am able to be held. Now I see us all in this magical place. And if you've ever worked with me before, you may be familiar with parts of it, but it runs right adjacent to the enchanted forest. And sometimes on the other side of the enchanted forest, we begin our meditation with a portal that is a field of wildflowers. In between these two places, if we walk a little bit to the north, there is a large mountain and there's a stream that creeps around the mountain and all of its ancestors and all of the creatures. And it just kind of wiggle maggles. And where we are is in between the field of flowers and the entrance to the enchanted forest, but it goes into a different depth, into a different landscape. And what I see is this stream with vivid colors, yet it's crystal clear. It's almost like the colors change as we're floating down it. And I see us all being held. I see myself being held by some type of a pool floaty. And I see us all floating in our own time, passing each other, slowing down and catching up, changing places, maybe spinning in a couple circles, clockwise, counterclockwise, but we're just floating in this stream, in this creek, in this slowly moving water. Maybe some of us have our feet in the water. Maybe some of us are holding our feet flexed and feeling the warmth of the sun on the soles of our feet and the palms of our hands, allowing the sun's radius to come in and clean and clear our visualization space in our crown and third eye. Allowing for the portal from our heart to our throat to open up so we can feel safe to be held, so we can feel safe to be vulnerable, while maintaining our integrity and not giving up on any of our authenticity, not performing, not asking for permission any longer to be held. It simply is. And we're floating down this stream together. And I would just like for us to all watch ourselves doing this. And as it feels good to you, breathe into it and fully embody that version of you that's just floating down this stream with people of like kind on this journey of life, consciousness, of expansion, of frequency, of allowance, liberation, freedom, unification, self-permission, autonomy, independence, and love. And we're going to take 7 minutes here and simply allow ourselves to be held. And just allow whatever visions, shapes, colors, sounds, images, smells, sensations, whatever comes through, allow it, allow it, allow it. Maybe you'll have some memories or emotions. But I am going to turn off my microphone to enable complete silence for 7 minutes. I will be back in 7 minutes with the sound of my voice. Please enjoy. All right. So we're just now on that 7-minute threshold. As you hear the sound of my voice, feel welcome to redirect your attention and energy to the sound of my voice. And perhaps we can now shift our awareness from floating in this lovely body of water being held to now anchoring ourselves by sitting underneath our favorite tree, with our backs being supported by the wood on the tree. Perhaps our head is all the way leaning back, also being supported by the tree. Perhaps we bend at the knee and allow the flesh of our feet to meet the earth. No socks, no shoes. Moving our feet, wiggling our toes, and connecting with the earth's energy. And also doing the same with our hands. Or perhaps we leave one hand on the earth and bring the other hand to our ear, or our third eye chakra, our heart center, or our solar plexus, or our sacral. Perhaps we wish to keep our legs extended and the full length of the bottom of our legs meet with the dirt, with the earth, with the unapologetic soil teeming with life. And we simply rest the palms of our hands on our thighs, or maybe we're placing them on our knees. I do feel like sometimes when we're taking on more than our share, our knees ask us for extra love. Sometimes when things get hard for those around us, we want to try to fix it for them. We want to try to take their pain. And sometimes it makes our knees feel a little clickety. Maybe we'll move around our ankles, our toes. Maybe we have some burps to release. Again, as we're anchoring into the safety of being held. We're being held by water at first. Now we're being held by the earth, cradled by a tree. I'm even seeing that some of us have chosen to lay in a completely wooden canoe. And I see this person or persons completely sprawled out in their canoe, meeting the wood with their body and also holding onto an oar. I feel like this is a kind of a visualization symbol. We're really anchoring into our sovereignty. And for this next part of the exercise, I want you to let the words diffuse into your being. You don't necessarily have to answer them, but just open up your channels to the activation that's brought with this word and these questions that I'm going to ask. So, first of all, I'd like to introduce the word sovereign. And we're working with earth, we're working with wood. Perhaps some of us are even choosing to work with metal. Maybe where we were sitting against a tree turned into us sitting against a structure made of metal or brick. None of it's wrong. Maybe some of us chose to sit outside in our garden, and our garden is ordained with copper wires swirling from some of the produce, some of the plants. Maybe we're sitting, I see 4 different pillars of copper wire coming from the earth, extending out towards the sun, letting the open air swirl around it. And I see some of us sitting inside these 4 pillars. So working with earth and air. I'm calling in fire as the sunlight beams down over us in this space. Maybe some of us even chose to stay in the water. Maybe that's where some of us in our canoe are in the water. Maybe some of our canoes are made from metal, and we still choose to be in the water, breathing the air, connecting with earth or metal, and calling in the fire element, the sun, heating up that metal canoe that we can feel around us. Or maybe we place our hands behind us on the tree behind us and on the ground next to us, and we feel the warmth as the sun beams down upon the earth, upon us, allowing the flow of water, allowing our emotions to diffuse through us while we acknowledge them and honor them and allow them to flow through us. We don't identify with them. Just allowing that water, that emotion to flow through us. Allowing ourselves to connect with the earth element, with wood, with metal. Allowing ourselves to be grounded and held. Knowing that we're here on this earth because we're meant to be. We don't have to perform or do anything or maintain a rigid structure or a cage that was never built for us, because we're meant to be wild and free and autonomous. And we belong here. We are of the earth. We are one with the earth. We are not separate. We co-create with her. And we connect with her as we ground, as we go outside in nature. And as we breathe and allow the air to move through our hair, our open fingers, as it dances on our crown, as the earth and the wind change in their vibration and texture, with differences in temperature. Sometimes the wind is blowing hard. Sometimes you only feel but a faint tickle on your cheek now and then. Allowing the wind to clear our mental field, to cleanse and clear any thoughts that aren't ours, any thought forms that perhaps never were ours, but we took them because we thought maybe we needed them. Maybe we needed the information that was contained within them for a while. Maybe we held on to them again to feel safe. But we don't need them anymore. We allow them to flow and go where they're needed to assimilate into something new. Remember, energy doesn't like to be clustered and stay stuck and still. Like, you can think of it like cars. The more congestion there is, sometimes there's more people trying to navigate through all the difficulty of changing lanes, because it's just not a natural way of being to be clustered and stuck. And just like the wind moves through our hair, it moves through our mental body and cleanses it and clears it of all of this thought residue that isn't ours. It's okay. It's okay. And now connecting with action and fire. And knowing that depending on our different constitutions, some of us may feel called to do more things with action than others. Some of us are more in the mind, in the air. Some of us more with emotion and water. Some of us more with the tangible physical reality that we can taste and touch and feel, that tactile sense. And it doesn't matter. We're all perfect just as we are. But we can call these all into balance. Being honest with our emotions and letting them flow through us without identifying with them. Being grounded and centered and at ease, knowing that we are held by the earth. Allowing thoughts, perceived judgments that aren't ours, to simply blow out of our mental capacity, blow out of our mental sphere. They don't resonate with us. And allowing our action to be divinely guided, always acting from this place of centeredness, responding rather than reacting. And again, not overthinking, but maintaining our anchor and acting from a grounded place, acting when divinely called to act. I would just like for you to be in this moment right now. And I'm going to say some words. Again, let them just diffuse into your being with as little or as much clarity as they bring. You are the medicine. You bring the words into your energy with your permission, and you allow them to diffuse through you. Excuse me. Communicating multidimensionally. All right. So, what does sovereignty mean to me? I would like for you to visualize your depiction at this now moment, giving everything we've just experienced. What does it look like for you when I say the energetic embodiment of sovereignty looks like? You can paint the picture or simply allow the picture to come. Again, maybe it's words or memories. Maybe you have some kind of a physical sensation in your body and you can place your hands and your attention and even a color on it and allow that energy that's been clustered up to be freed and move. And you can use water, wind, fire, earth, an amalgamation of all of them, whatever you choose. You can use rainbows and daisies and unicorns and cotton candy, whatever feels good. What does energetic embodiment of sovereignty look like? Now I want to know what it feels like with your tactile senses. Does it feel like leather? Or perhaps it feels like petting a horse on its back and then feeling the coarseness of its tail. Perhaps it feels like fresh grass. And as you move the grass under your hand and fingertips, that smell of fresh grass represents freedom. What does the energetic embodiment of sovereignty look like? What does the energetic embodiment of sovereignty feel like? What does the energetic embodiment of sovereignty taste like? Maybe it's a memory from when you were a kid and you went to the swimming pool and you dove down so deep in the deep end to get your goggles. And you remember how it stung your eyes and you got a little water in your nose. But when you emerged from the water and crested out and took your first deep breath of air after that endeavor, it feels like freedom. You made that choice. You took that challenge to dive down so deep you could feel it in your ears that rumbling, that vibration, that pressure. You could feel your eyes stinging as you open them just a little bit to see, make sure you were reaching for your goggles. And the way it felt to get water in your nose. Like when you laugh when you're eating a sweet tart, it has this certain feeling, the interplay. I feel like of your third eye sensing through the channels of your sinuses down to your throat and your throat chakra. What does energetic embodiment of sovereignty look like? What does energetic embodiment of sovereignty feel like? What does energetic embodiment of sovereignty taste like? Maybe it's crying after you fell on your bike. Again, that path, it's behind your sinuses that feels like this pure essence of freedom and sovereignty because you did something and it was a challenge and it was hard and maybe you were afraid, but you were brave and you did it and you remember what it tastes like. You remember what it feels like. You know what it looks like. Now I want to know what it sounds like. What does the energetic embodiment of sovereignty sound like? Maybe it sounds like you humming as you're kicking, diving down that deep water to get your goggles. As the air bubbles are just profusely exiting your nose. You're kicking, diving down at that 45-degree angle to get your goggles, opening up your eye, letting the chlorine sting. It's worth it because you set your sights on a goal and you went for it. And you're proud of yourself. What does energetic embodiment of sovereignty sound like to you? What does energetic embodiment of sovereignty look like to you? What does energetic embodiment of sovereignty feel like to you? What does energetic embodiment of sovereignty taste like to you? What does energetic embodiment of sovereignty sound like to you? And last but not least, what does energetic embodiment of sovereignty smell like? This one, I'll let you create on your own. Independent of me. All right. Very good. Now, wherever you are, whether you're floating in the canoe, sitting up against a tree, or doing cartwheels through a field of wildflowers, wherever you may be, still in that pool, diving down to the depths to retrieve your goggles. Or maybe someone else lost their goggles at the deep end and they're not ready to go get it yet. So you're going to help them. I claim my sovereignty today and always. Feel free to say this in your head. You can draw it as words on a page, or simply allow it to wash over you. Say it out loud, whatever you like. I claim my full sovereignty. I claim my full sovereignty. I claim my full sovereignty. And so it is. Now for this exercise, I'm going to end my portion, but I would like for you to stay in this field as long as feels good. When you decide to come out of this field, you can write down as little or as much as you'd like. But mostly, I want you to remember that you can come back to this visualization at any time, at any place, by simply honoring that statement, I claim my full sovereignty. And then all of this is going to flood back to you, the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it tastes, the way it sounds, the way it smells. This whole sensory buffet, just with you saying, I claim my full sovereignty. You'll find yourself floating down that stream again, or flying on the eagle's wings, or taking in the sunlight, drinking in the air, diving down the depths of deep water to retrieve an object, feeling held and nestled by the earth, knowing that you're meant to be because you're here. You don't have to do anything, you just have to be. Allow your field to be clear. Allow clarity to come through you. And reclaiming your sovereignty as often as you'd like. Thank you so much. When you are ready to come out of this visualization space, all you need to do is place your attention upon it and move yourself. Move your toes, your ankles, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your arms at the elbow, your fingers at the fingertips, your neck. And my favorite, right before I'm coming back to my now moment, I love to place my hands on the sides of my face, one hand on each cheek. Perhaps you'd like to place your hands on your heart or your solar plexus, or even maybe you want to give yourself a hug. It doesn't matter, but just connecting with your physical body will bring you back to this now moment whenever you are ready. Thank you so much for being here today. And remember, I claim my full sovereignty. Until next time, thank you very much.